Hello and welcome to Utterly Geek's coverage of E3 2018.
Woo!
Video games!
Yeah, video games!
I'm Darren Bell. I'm joined as always by Steven Petrella and Christopher Walczyk. E3 started super early this year, so we're going to split this up into two episodes. One today, one tomorrow. Today we're only going to cover the first three conferences. We're going to go over EA, Xbox, and Bethesda. Starting with who started first and arguably the low point of the show, EA.
Hey, you gotta set the bar low at the beginning so that way everybody can cross
Get
it.
that shit out there.
So everybody can hurdle over it super easy.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Oh, so they announced Battlefield 5.
There was a lot that I laughed about it, but go on.
Yeah, they elaborated a bit on Battlefield 5 and what that entails. It's basically going back to World War II. A similar narrative structure as they did with Battlefield 1, which, despite the numbers, was last year's Battlefield.
Yeah.
So it's different characters. You're hopping around. They're not necessarily connected. This is the one and only time I heard the words Battle Royale at E3 this year, and it was applied to Battlefield 5.
Yep.
And people booed.
So it's kind of funny because after that announcement happened, and then I saw on Twitter so many people just being like, fucking, this game's ruined, this game's bullshit, I'm not gonna get it, all this. It's like, so don't get it. Like, I don't know, apparently it's either you're excited for a Battle Royale mode to happen in a game because it makes fucking sense, or you just hate it because it's a popular thing, and that's what everyone's doing now, and it's cool, so join in on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
That's what I got after, with like people booing and Twitter being angry, but Twitter's always angry at everything.
Yeah.
So to me, I was just like, it makes sense for that fucking game to have a Battle Royale mode. Like, it was already close to it anyway. Like,
yeah, people, I mean, that's a money-making game. They're going to go where the fucking money is.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's not like they're doing it for the art of it. They want to make fucking money, and Battle Royale is
the hot thing of 2018.
It's the hot thing, and they might be able to do it the best.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
we'll see.
I think Battlefield already has the infrastructure, the technology to support something like a Battle Royale mode. It might actually be pretty good.
Yeah.
They made a big point of saying there are no loot boxes in Battlefield 5.
Except they're not called loot boxes. They're called something else.
Airdrops or something, yeah.
Or airlift crates or something like that. But yeah, like, no, fuck off. You can call that piece of shit a rose. It's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
They
It's just
made a
beautifully pushed out into a rose shape.
Listen, if your butthole can do that, that's impressive. But yeah, it really felt like, because the audience was actually happy about that. Like, that looks good on paper. We're not having loot crates. Hooray! Oh, we're calling them something else.
Like, the audience cheers for a big company not fucking them over. It's like, no, just don't fuck us over.
Yet. This is the EA conference, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Coming off of that, they went into FIFA 19, soccer, sports ball, hooray. Because it's EA, they're going to do that. That's a big moneymaker. Then they talked to Vince Zampella about a new Star Wars game called Jedi Fallen Order during the dark years. Like, it was a very vague and weird interview.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready to talk about much.
I think he was ready to talk about it. He seemed very excited.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. Also, let's remind our viewers, as someone from Respawn Entertainment that made Titanfall 2 and Titanfall 1.
Yeah, so that might actually be a good game at the end of the day. It shows a lot of promise. Takes place between episodes 3 and 4, while the Jedi are being hunted, and you are a Jedi that's being hunted. They had nothing to show. It was just Vince Zampella sitting in a seat, getting really excited, talking about Jedi.
I could actually see certain mechanics of Titanfall, like being played in a game like that.
Right.
Well, certainly not wall running and sliding, but
yeah, just like the pacing and stuff, I can see playing well.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's something different because the only things that they've worked on so far was just Titanfall 1 and 2. So they could just...
That's the original team that worked on the Modern Warfare series too.
Right. No, I meant as Respawn, as the company, as the dev company, they've only done Titanfall 1 and 2. So with them doing something different like a Star Wars game, I feel like they might change it up on just the pacing. I don't know. I mean, I think that it'll be a fantastic game. Like, I'm sure they'll bring out the quality like they did with Titanfall 2.
I think it's too early to say that. This is still EA. I still do not trust the end product until I see it.
Yeah.
But it does show a lot of promise.
Right.
I don't... Whatever. We have seen nothing.
Yeah.
We have one man ranting in a chair about it.
It just, I agree that it just seemed weird because he looked like he really wanted to talk about it, but it looked like if he said anything, like some EA representative would come running down the aisle and probably beat him to death. For revealing anything.
It almost felt like they were stalling for time.
Maybe.
Like, just talk to Vince. Just get him going on something while we set up here. He's excitable. Go.
Shit's broke right now. Go fucking talk to this guy for a bit.
Yeah, it felt very impromptu. They then rolled out Origin Access Premiere, which sounded like a streaming service that they're working on. Do I have that right? I'm still not sure what the hell that was.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But it also was like you could stream it through any device. Also was like their thing.
Right. They didn't have a price for it yet. But it sounds like it's a streaming service for their existing Origin Access program. So I don't know if you need an Origin Access account to then get an Origin Access Premier account. Or if you pay for the Premiere, you get the... listen, stop bolting words onto things. I don't know. Okay, $100 a year. $15 month to month. Yeah, it looks like it's a different way to get your games on Origin Access.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo, and that's hurtling us closer to our inevitable streaming future that I don't want to happen.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Plus Origin is like not great either. Like
it's fine.
It's okay. I mean, it's no Uplay, that's for sure. But it still could use some work, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if they fine tune it before this is released. Then it'll be a better platform for that kind of thing. But I don't know, man. The thing is with like playing games is like I just want to be able to just buy it one price, and if it's an online game, I'm already paying for internet. Like, just that's it. That's all it should fucking be.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to pay some kind of monthly subscription thing on top of it to like have the game and also pay for internet. Like, I almost feel like it's a step away from being like, oh yeah, also pay for our internet providers for our servers or some shit. Like, I feel like it's a step away from that.
For that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that on PC.
Yeah. It seems like they're almost leaning towards that for PC games. when it's like PC has always just been like, well, it's free. I mean, you're paying your provider, yeah, but like
you're paying that for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And if anyone were to try it, that would be EA. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Well, I think more than just EA, just the overall games as a service kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's just a few steps away from being the whole like, hey, pay for our servers as well on top of buying the game.
Well, then we're just back to World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
We're back to monthly subscriptions to play games. Like that. I don't know. They then came out and apologized for Battlefront 2. They came out, said that the game's been better than ever before, and we're sorry, we're improving it. And then they announced General Grievous, and they're going to the Clone Wars. This next quote-unquote season.
Which they said that was supposed to be the thing from the beginning. Like, that was supposed to be in the base fucking game, was supposed to have the Clone Wars in there. Mm-hmm. Like, it was supposed to have both eras, but it was like they had one or two
eras.
Yeah.
All 3 eras.
Yeah, and it had, well, yeah. But they only had, like, 1 or 2 maps.
Yep.
With those, and then that was it. And then everything else was the original classic era, and then with the tie-in stuff, and that's it. With, like, the current... God damn it.
The current movies,
The current movies, yeah.
I think Battlefront's a foregone game, but they're gonna keep pumping into it. They're gonna keep pumping into it to get people to buy in, and they're like, well, that was a big part of it. They were saying, oh, now we have cosmetics. Now we have cosmetic-only items that you can buy.
And then just when they're wrapping up on how good they have everything down for updating things in the progression system, Battlefront 3 comes out.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that being a game next year or the year after.
Yeah.
They're not moving any needles for me. EA did not move any needles for me this entire thing. They then went on to announce Unravel 2, which is a co-op version of Unravel, which, okay, cute, adorable, fine. I don't care. I didn't play the first. I don't care.
I heard it was all right.
Yeah, sure. I don't care enough to actually buy. If that were something that was an actual independent developer that was on their own on Steam, I would probably support it.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually makes me upset that they're with EA.
Yeah.
Because then they showed Sea of Solitude, which is the only thing that looked super interesting. Something about a woman being alone and turning into a monster because her being alone, and you're this weird hairy beast woman thing on the ocean. It looked cool. It's a cool EA indie title, and
I would say I support a lot of EA's indie stuff because they always seem to kind of do all right. Like A Way Out was really great. I enjoyed that. I finished that, and that was a good game. And this seems interesting enough that I think it could be good and has potential. So
sure.
But then there's also games like Feh, where it's like it wasn't.
That looked neat and cool, and it came out like it sounded like a fart in the wind.
Yeah.
Feh.
But I mean, I think with EA original titles, I think I have a little bit more interest in those than I do with some of their bigger AAA titles.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Out. No doubt. That is the more interesting things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought both Unravel 2 and Sea of Solitude looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion. Like I didn't really care about. I haven't played Unravel, and I didn't really care that they were making an Unravel 2, but I think it looks pretty cool. Like I would actually go back and play Unravel, because I think it looks like a neat little concept.
But they're also Unravel 2. They're taking it in a weird direction that I completely support for a sequel in that game. They're turning it into co-op, and it's a completely different type of game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I wish. Hey, like I actually support that EA is doing this. Maybe if these games become super successful, they'll start looking more into stuff like this because it's not really a bad thing.
No.
Because it's giving companies a means to create something that they may never have been able to create.
Yeah.
Right. I don't mean to sound like I'm shitting all over these people for partnering with EA. I don't mean to sound like that at all. I know that's how I'm coming across, though.
What the fuck, Darren?
Yeah, I'm a dick. But yeah, Unravel 2 and Sea of Solitude were the more interesting things that they showed there.
Yeah.
And
those are the best things that they showed, actually.
Yeah. They got... The developer for Unravel 2 got a lot of shit online after they announced it for not putting it on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, that's a game that's made for the Switch. Why didn't you put that on the Switch? He's like, listen,
God.
we're a small team.
Yeah, really.
The time and what we would need to do to get that to run on Switch would not have worked. Not to mention, Unravel 2 released during the conference. They announced it and it was out. You can buy it now.
Yeah.
Like that, I wholeheartedly support.
Yeah.
Like, don't shit on the developer. Shit on the publisher. Yes.
Yeah.
Not
on the developer and because those actually show a lot of heart, a lot of love, both Sea of Solitude and Unravel 2.
I think that's ever since the Switch came out, that's just like one of the things that just almost creates a toxic atmosphere of like, what the fuck is it on Switch? Like, dude, maybe not everything needs to be on fucking Switch. Like, there's a reason why it's not on Switch.
Be it. Yeah, like that team could not support that kind of a port. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since they released it now.
That day.
Like
unannounced, announced and out.
Yeah, I could see if they were like, oh, it's coming to like the end of the year. If they didn't put it on Switch too, I'd be surprised, But like since it was there, they already made the fucking game and they probably just didn't develop it for Switch, so they were like, okay, we can't do it. Maybe they wanted to, but they couldn't, so.
I wouldn't be shocked if by year's end that doesn't end up on the Switch.
Yeah. If it,
like,
I think if it's successful enough, it probably will.
Yeah. Why the I need it now mentality of gamers is real bad.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah.
But from the most interesting things they had to offer, they immediately went into Sportsland and they gave us NBA Live 19, Madden NFL 19, which in their own right, those games visibly they look real good. Like those are the best looking sports games I've seen.
Yeah.
Like visibly, graphically, very impressive.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Frostbite engine, so
yeah. I will
should
give
hope
them that
so.
credit. Yeah.
I think it's also some of the devs over there, because a lot of with the Frostbite engine, like DICE was for the longest time the only dev company that really understood its engine because they fucking built the thing. Whereas like when they threw it off to other developers, it's like they didn't know what to do with it. It's like it would just become a broken mess, and then they'd just be like, I don't know, man.
Gotcha.
I feel like that's how it was with Andromeda. It was just like it was like DICE threw BioWare the engine, was like, here, use this, and then they were just like, my face hurts. Like
that was part of the problem with Andromeda.
Yes.
I will agree with you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, now everyone's got a hold on it. I feel, hopefully. I don't know. Don't quote me. They then proceeded to shit on the history of one of the most venerated RTS games. I'm not a fan of this. Command & Conquer Rivals. It's Command & Conquer distilled down to a mobile game.
It's very Clash Royale-esque. But you could still command your units as opposed to where you just send them to their fucking death.
Yeah. But again, I'm not downloading that thing. Yeah. I'm not touching that thing. Ugh.
I think that's just like that's the EA graveyard. It's like when they don't know what to do with a franchise, they just push it to mobile, and that's where it will die.
Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah.
Dungeon Keeper.
Plants vs Zombies 2.
Well, Garden Warfare was pretty neat, but
Yeah.
then they added loot boxes. Anyway.
Well, that was in 2, the second one, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, don't take a venerated franchise and shove it off on mobile, and then when the mobile game doesn't do well, kill the franchise.
You know what they're gonna do next year, though?
Oh God.
Dead Space Mobile.
Didn't they already do a Dead Space mobile game?
It's a clicker, and you click on the fucking aliens on their limbs.
They did. I think they ported Dead Space onto mobile.
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think they ported the first Dead Space onto like iPad or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah, they did in 2011.
Huh. Weird.
Fucking weird.
Yeah, I actually heard it was a pretty for the iPad. It was a pretty solid port. I would never touch it because I love that game so much. Yeah. But I heard that it wasn't.
And why the fuck would you play it on an iPad?
No. But I heard that if that was your only means to play that game, it actually wasn't like terrible.
Like Doom on Switch.
Yeah.
I won't touch that, but I'm really happy that exists. They then concluded the show with a deep dive on Anthem, which the longer that presentation went, honestly, the less I kind of cared about Anthem, which is really depressing because I was willing to give that game a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of the vibes that I was getting from that presentation was a lot of was similar to Andromeda, where it was just like showing a lot of concept art and nothing of the game itself. Eventually they did.
Okay, yeah.
But when it was, there were a lot of moments when they were trying to go into deep detail about the game. It was just like showing the same thing over and over again instead of like just being like giving us new stuff in one shot and then being like, okay, here it is. We'll talk about it, and then that's it. That's the end of it. So,
yeah. I didn't like the presentation. I didn't like the numbers flying off and the big combo.
I think that's hilarious. Maybe that's just me, just because that's just dumb.
See, I appreciate that stupid in a franchise that is kind of leaning in the stupid. So, like, Borderlands, it's great. It's fucking great. But coming from BioWare, and they're trying to talk this up like a big BioWare-esque RPG with big story elements and things like that. Like, I don't want to see that in that kind of a game. They've also confirmed there are no romance options in that game. And yeah, it just felt like their take on a Destiny.
Yeah.
That's literally all of the entire vibe I got from that. No, thank you.
I mean, to me, if it's like, if the lore and story is better executed in Anthem than it was in Destiny, then I'd be a little bit more curious about it. Because at least as long as it's not like, hey, go online to read more stuff.
Pull up the app.
Yeah.
Did you find the right Grimoire card?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shit like that. Like, if it's executed better, I don't know. I mean, I think the thing for me that is more cool factor is just being able to fly around like Iron Man. I think that's pretty sweet. But and especially with just like a big world like that, because the areas seem really vast. But a lot of it does just seem like Destiny, where it's just like, you could encounter these enemies, but it's like, oh wait, does it not pertain to the story, or will it not drop good loot? All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna take off then and fly through all this shit and not even care.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a look to it. It's got a feel to it. I'm just not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, it's a game I don't really care about, but if it comes out and everyone's saying that it's good and if it's fun, gets solid reviews, it'd be a game that I would probably pick up and play.
Well, I would wait probably like 2 to 3 months
Yeah.
like
do the
Destiny.
Destiny thing.
Because there's plenty of people that said Destiny 2 was like, holy shit, really good. This is so much better. Like the gunplay is really good. The loot system's great. Like all these things. And then it was like 2 to 3 months later, it was like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Where do we go with this? Where's the end game? And then the DLC started rolling out, and they started taking away things from the vanilla game and putting it into the DLC and locking it behind there. And
See, you're getting the wrong thing then. That means you have to buy it right when it comes out so that you get to play everything before they lock it behind DLC, Wally. What?
Exactly.
Wrong conclusion to come to.
So yeah, shit like that. Like that's why I would rather wait 2 or 3 months to see how it pans out and how things how the post-launch content is handled.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's it for EA. Sunday rolls around and Xbox had their showing, and you could really tell they knew what they needed to bring.
Yeah.
They start off with a new trailer for something that you couldn't quite identify, and ends up being Halo Infinite, which we have a few more details on that now. Really, all they did was they showed the trailer, then they showed from behind Master Chief holding onto his helmet. It's a close-up of the helmet, and then the logo, and then they moved immediately on to the next thing. This was marked for PC, and it is Halo 6. Halo Infinite is Halo 6. They have confirmed that.
Weird. Is it just me, or did it seem like visually not as impressive as 5?
I don't know. It was all like environments. You didn't really see anyone close up other than Master Chief's helmet.
Yeah, I think visually it was kind of sparse.
Yeah.
Like there just wasn't a lot there, and I don't know if that's what they were going for, or
and
if
the
it
animation
was...
seemed a little janky. Like, well, maybe not janky, but just not as smooth as like some of the previous titles.
I honestly don't think there was enough there to really judge that.
It could be that they
not
just...
for me anyway.
It could be that they might have just thrown that together too. Like that could have been something where they're like, we had this in the works and we don't have.
Oh Jesus, we need to get it out there.
Yeah, it could have been something like that. We're like, fuck, this game is really far off and we don't really have anything, but we need to make an announcement trailer for it so people know we're actually making this game.
Yeah.
The thing that concerns me with that particular trailer, and then it coming to light that that's Halo 6, is you specifically see 4 ODST walking up the hill toward Master Chief. In the way they were talking, they said, join Master Chief on the next chapter, blah, blah, blah. What if you don't play as Master Chief? What if you're playing as ODSTs with...
You just want another ODST. That's what you want.
Well, no. I don't want that out of a mainline Halo game. If I'm playing a mainline Halo game and I'm not playing Master Chief or someone comparable to Master Chief...
Right.
And I'm playing an ODST in a mainline Halo game... I don't want that. I want to be a Spartan.
Yeah.
Ideally, I want to be Master Chief in the last game, where he should fucking die. He needs to die in this game.
All right.
And the Master Chief saga needs to be put to bed. It should have been put to bed 3 games ago, but that's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's literally all we got. Like, yeah, new Halo. The interesting thing was it was marked for PC, so
finally, well, never mind. I was about to say finally a Halo game on PC, but they tried a number of times,
1 and 2.
And it was not very successful.
Oh no, Halo 1 on PC was real good.
Oh, okay.
That was honestly real good. Gearbox did that.
Oh, okay.
And you can, well, you can't still play it. GameSpy is no longer a thing.
Oh, yeah.
But you could have played that online, and I did over a dial-up modem, and it was real good.
I had that thing on fucking Mac, and I played it in college, and that was fun as shit.
Yeah, that first one was good. Halo 2, however, was Vista, and that was not a good port.
Yeah. Well, Vista also was not a good thing to exist.
No.
Yeah.
As
not
an
at all.
operating system.
They then pivoted to a very beautifully rendered trailer for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which jump between 3D and 2D, and it looks like more Ori, but it looks like real good more Ori.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there that I was like, this is new. Like having a fucking sword and a bow that shoots arrows, like all these things.
And running around with a friendly baby owl.
Yep. And a cart level.
Yeah.
Because there's a cart level. That's upside down. I mean, whatever.
It was real good.
I'm so excited for that game.
Me too.
From Software then came out with Activision to announce Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which I honestly thought was going to be a new Tenchu.
Yeah.
And I was very, very excited to get a new Tenchu. So this game will be Tenchu to me. and that's fine. But we find that the initial teaser was actually the main character's forearm. Like,
okay.
Bone and wood and string just being tightened down. It's what if Bloodborne were samurai.
Yeah.
I really like the look of that game.
Yeah, I love the look of it. I love what they showed there, what you could do with like the grappling hook and just how you can the movement system in it. It seemed very not like From Software, like very much not their style, or at least as of late. So it just seemed very refreshing to see them take on it.
And honestly, I think that's why I'm more excited for it. Because you're not like stapled in place like you are in all their other games, like standing your ground, which I don't mean to sound like I'm disparaging that. Those games are very well made for that.
Yeah.
But this is a complete departure from that mechanic.
Yeah. I mean, they said that it was still Souls-esque, like as far as the combat once you are grounded and you are fighting things. But like everything else seems like stealth, sneaky, stabby.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff, which is awesome.
There was a dude who puked on his sword and made it poison in that trailer. He puked on his sword.
Yeah.
It was real good. And then the monster powerbombed the main character. Looks like he put his head through his own ass. It was great.
And then threw him through buildings afterwards.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was real good. Todd Howard then came out on stage and said, "Hey, Fallout 76, it's a thing. Here's a new trailer. Come see Bethesda in a couple hours." So it's not even worth really mentioning here.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. Don't Nod then announced The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which is the next in the world of Life is Strange. It is a...
Yeah. I don't know how it is, but I'm sure once you play the game, it'll explain.
So the thing that has me really super interested in this is that this is a standalone single episode thing, and it is completely free on every platform. They're just putting this out for free as an introduction to the characters in the world of Life is Strange 2. So you have to play this to get acquainted with the world of Life is Strange 2. But to put it out for completely fucking free is ballsy.
I guess. I mean, usually the first episode...
This isn't the first episode, though. This is a different thing.
Right.
From Don't Nod, who isn't the most lucrative of companies. Yeah, Life is Strange was super, super profitable for them.
Yeah.
But that was the first game that really put them on the map. So I don't know. I find it surprising that they put it out for free.
I guess, but I mean, there's also Vampire came out last week, and then they have their other one, their other game that they announced.
Twin Mirror.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what the fuck that is.
That's made by the people from the Life is Strange group.
No, they're actually working on Life is Strange 2, I thought.
Oh, I read that was the Life is Strange group was working on that. So
sure.
I don't know, man.
Don't Nod suddenly has a lot of games that they're making.
Yeah, and I guess that's why it's not really shocking that this little one-off thing is free. I guess.
I just find it uncharacteristic of the game industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's uncharacteristic, but I'm not, like, with the way that Don't Nod released, like, their other stuff. Like you said, it is a standalone, but it might just be the size of a episode, if not shorter.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So it might not be like, it might not, like, if they charge for it, people might play it and be like, this game's worth a couple dollars, you know?
Yeah.
And upset people, especially if it's just like an intro into their next game, basically.
Right. I just.
But it's a good move. I think it's a good move. Like, it's a really good move on their part, and I think they're successful enough to do it, and I think it's a good way for them to introduce more people into the way that they're making games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We then got an update on Terry Crews Simulator 2019.
Yeah.
I am so on board with that game now. More than ever.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize that you literally played Terry Crews in that game.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a character name, but it's a real good looking cartoony Terry Crews who is the exact right personality for that game. But Crackdown 3 finally has a release date, but it's January of next year? Or was that February? It got delayed again.
Yeah. There's a lot of games coming out January and February.
February 22nd. Yeah, next year's winter months are packed.
Which is weird. Like, this just seems like a sudden thing this year, where they're just like, fucking release all these games at the beginning of the year.
Well, this year has been really quiet. When you look at things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's weird. Nier Automata is finally coming to Xbox with all of the DLC in a neat little bundle. Digital only, though. So there's that. But, hey, if you've got an Xbox and you didn't get a chance to play Nier Automata and then roll into a ball and cry your existence away, you can do that now.
Right.
Because that's what Nier will do to you. There's a bit of a dive into Metro Exodus, which
That's pretty cool.
They only showed the trailer, right? They didn't talk to anyone?
No. Yeah, that was it. They just showed the trailer and then moved on.
Okay. Yeah, I have not played any of those other games. I should.
They're really good, especially the Redux. The Redux are really great.
Yeah, I've heard that's how I need to play those. We then got our first look at Kingdom Hearts 3 for E3.
The first trailer of many.
Which, I don't know what the fuck is going on in that goddamn game. Mickey's caught in a butthole in the middle of a key, and there's Elsa freezing things, and she doesn't know why she's freezing things despite knowing how to control it at the end of her own movie, and I don't listen.
So here's the thing with the Kingdom Hearts games. It's basically you just play the movie. So when you show up, it's basically like the very beginning of the movie, and because the Heartless takes over whatever, that it's basically you just play out the movie in the video game, and it comes out to the same resolution as the movie does. And that's it. So it's basically you're just playing the movie, more or less.
With Final Fantasy bullshit interjected.
Yep. Yeah, that's Kingdom Hearts, basically.
Great. Listen, this game has been in the wings for so long. I'm very happy for people.
So long enough that I stopped caring about this game.
I'm actually surprised that it is an Xbox thing, too.
Yeah.
Because that's been traditionally a PlayStation thing.
Which a lot of people are going to be confused if they're playing it on Xbox. If they jump right into 3, and it's like, what am I playing? What is this?
Well, also considering that Sony later announced a mega pack with all of the Kingdom Hearts shit in one bundle exclusively on PlayStation. Like, that feels like the wrong console to put that on because PS4 already has those other HD remakes.
Yeah.
And Xbox does not. Why not? I'm not in marketing. after Kingdom Hearts, we got a lesson about seasons and what they change. Because Forza Horizon 4 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks like a really cool Forza game. It's their arcade racing series. Previously, how these games would work is they would populate the world with AI characters based off of the driving profiles of your friends. So they would approximate your friend's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was that the AI would approximate to a certain point, but then if you started bumping them, they'd bump you back, and that would teach them to be more aggressive. So by the end of it, everyone was just an aggressive asshole trying to throw everyone off the road, and it didn't work out. So this one, everyone you see, it's basically an open world game.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see other people driving around, and that sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And seasons will change. It's in England, and seasons change everything. Apparently.
Yes.
I wish I had a counter of how many times we heard that.
It seems like it's what Forza is doing is like what the Crew did, but good. Because from what I've heard, the Forza series has been really great. Like across the board. I don't think I've ever seen one that was really bad or really that changed too much for it to be like, this is a bad Forza game, but this is them trying that whole open world thing. So could be good, I think.
It looked nice.
Yeah.
Sure. They then reintroduced We Happy Few, which didn't look on the surface like it changed a ton since the last time we saw it. Was that 2 years ago or last year?
I think 2 years ago.
Right. So apparently it has actually changed a lot since the last time we saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Last we saw it, there was a narrative trailer that made it look Bioshocky. And then people got all excited and thought, woo, look, it's a trippy psychedelic Bioshock. And then they grabbed it on Game Pass or played the trial, and it was actually a survival game.
Early access survival game.
Early access first-person survival game. So you play through that first trailer, and then it dumps you into an open world that has no connection to the trailer that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They heard everyone's complaints loud and clear and went back to the drawing board, and apparently that is now much more what you think it should be. A linear Bioshocky type game, and the survival elements are very much pared down.
Yeah.
And like crafting I think still exists, but that's about it.
Right.
So it feels like they've course corrected on that, but I don't know. I haven't touched it.
Mm.
That's one that I'm very curious about, and I will wait to see what it ends up being.
But you also got to remember that Gearbox is handling the publishing on that.
Yeah, I know. That's another reason why I'm going to wait on it.
Right.
See how it turns out. Do you want to cover this one, Wally?
Sure.
I didn't really follow nearly as much.
It was basically the Battlegrounds announcement was just showing like, hey, there's more maps coming to Xbox, where they showed the new one that's not even out on PC yet, but it's been tested. It's coming soon,
Savage?
actually. Yeah, it's not called Savage though. It's called something else. I forgot what it was. I know I just call it fucking because it's like the two. It's like Taiwan and Chinese or something. It's 2 words, but basically means fun chicken. So I just call it fucking. I call it the fucking map. So basically the fucking map is coming to PUBG on Xbox, along with the desert map I think already exists. But they also showed a riot shield now, so you can have a riot shield and pistol. As a thing, which I think is fucking awesome, because if you're breaching, now you can have someone with the shield and pistol go in first, and everyone just focus fire on him while everyone else is breaching, and then they teased a new map, which is a winter map, at the end of it.
Oh, right.
Because it was showing someone following their footprints. Which, boy, I can't wait for it to fucking break on PC.
Yeah.
Just absolutely just cause my game to crash every time I get the fucking winter map, so...
Yep.
I want to be excited for it, but as of the last couple weeks with that game, it's just been going so downhill so fast. And I think that's why I was way more open to the confirmation of Battlefield 5 having a battle royale mode, because it's cool, I can go to there now. Like, if I really want battle royale all over again, I could just go to Battlefield 5 and go play that fucking game.
Yep. Oh, and then they tried to get on the side of Japan. They are remastering Tales of Vesperia.
Right.
Which I never got into any of those. JRPGs aren't really my bag.
Yeah, same.
I feel like they're much more in Steve's department, but even then, no. Okay.
No. Old JRPGs are classic like Super Nintendo ones.
Oh.
But the newer ones, once you get past like Final Fantasy VII, couldn't get into those ones. Like once they started changing like the way that you played them, I just was not into the new styles that they were going for. I like the old like classic kind of, not a 200-hour game.
Right. Tales of Vesperia was originally, I want to say PS2, right?
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We might not be right, but that's fine.
If you're a fan of that series and we're wrong, please let us know. We'll correct it and then move on.
Yeah. They then finally revealed The Division 2, which is set 6 months after the original, so summertime in DC, and there are some very odd overtones, especially in today's current political climate, with that whole trailer. And I go to video games to forget that stuff. So yeah, that was a real fucking...
Yeah, but you could shoot people a lot, though.
It was still a real fucking bummer in the middle of my goddamn E3, and I get it. That's the game that they're making.
Right.
But, man, that was a bummer. But The Division 2 actually kind of looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't look terrible.
It looks more of that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out. I was really curious when that game first came out, the first one, and I heard it was all right, and especially post-launch, they supported it pretty well. But I think for me, some of the things that bothered me was just like, if you're gonna make a game like that, it's just weird that all the enemies are bullet spongy all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like you shoot a guy 3 or 4 times in the fucking head, even with a sniper rifle, and he's still coming at you. It's like,
you knock all of his armor off, and he's still charging you in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought for Division 1, what they had there was decent, but it was just like not enough to garner play. Like I think we played like the beta or something like that.
There's a free weekend or something.
The free weekend, yeah, and I thought it was pretty fun. But but after it released, they were like, yeah, that's all the game was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it. But I thought what they had there was cool if they built upon that, and this looks like it could be pretty good.
Yeah, because they outlined like the master system. So once you reach max level, you pick a weapon specialization and then reset yourself, and then you have access to this super powerful other weapon, and then start progressing differently. So it looks like they have actually built an end game into the Division.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it sounds really promising.
Yeah.
If you can get over the bullet spongy aspects of it, and also you can't find a puffy coat because it's summer. You can't get your puffy coats.
That's all right. If I could find skirts and wear them, I'm all for it.
Yeah, just give me a hoodie.
Running around with a fucking skirt on, shooting,
give me a hoodie.
Shooting bad guys.
Although I wouldn't wear a hoodie in DC summer.
No.
God, that sounds
No.
awful.
Do you like sweating? Do you like having swamp ass on your back?
I don't know. Does that give me like an extra slippery ability?
Probably not.
Oh, well then.
Although
no.
being a Tom Clancy game, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm surprised they still have that title on there. Like, people know what the Division is now, but they still gotta have the Tom Clancy
They
on
have
there.
they have the rights to that name. They have the rights to that name, so they're going to keep using it in that capacity. Despite Tom Clancy being long dead and having never written anything about a division.
Yeah.
They're going to keep doing that. Phil Spencer then took to the stage and said, "Hey, by the way, we heard you. We needed games, so we bought a bunch of companies. We bought Playground Games, who make the Forza Horizon games. We bought Compulsion Games, who made We Happy Few, and a couple of other smaller indie games that were weird. Undead Labs, who made State of Decay. And Ninja Theory. Microsoft bought Ninja Theory. Hellblade.
Yes. I have two thoughts on that. One of them being, cool. Now they'll have like a AAA publisher backing on their games. So now they'll be like way more fucking polished and high quality than Hellblade was, even though Hellblade was already really high quality and polished. But I'm also like, shit. Because now they're under a publisher that could push them and be like, we need to reach this release date, fucking get it done, as opposed to just being like working at their own time and pace and just making sure that they get the game out that they wanted to make.
Surprisingly, I don't get that vibe from Microsoft. With all of the other third-party companies working with them, I mean, previously I would have gotten that vibe from them. I mean, look at Rare in the days of Kinect.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I think anything Kinect was the during that dark times of Microsoft.
Well, they were also on top. They were the leader. They had all this stuff. They could force companies to do the thing. Now they're the underdog.
Yeah.
So now I feel like they're burgeoning, like, make creative things. Like, make something interesting and good. Don't do what we told you to do in the past. Ninja Theory actually got out there on Twitter and said that they were very much embracing that because it enables them to move away from the AA area and start making AAA games with more control, with more creative control over what they make.
Yeah. I could see them being kind of like a Naughty Dog for Microsoft. Because they had that quality. Like, for me, Hellblade had that quality story, but it didn't have like that amazing gameplay, which I actually kind of feel that way about Naughty Dog has solid gameplay, but it's not like the greatest part of their games.
Yeah, you don't play The Last of Us because it feels real good.
Yeah, like you play it for their story, and I feel like Ninja Theory could be that kind of thing where they're like creating good story with pretty solid gameplay, but they're creating these insanely awesome stories for Xbox.
And it looks fucking good.
And it looks fucking good, yeah. Like, I'd totally be on board with that if they become kind of like the Naughty Dog for Microsoft.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see what kind of fruit this acquisition bears. But I think this generation will be very informative as to Microsoft's future within the gaming realm.
Right.
They then showed world premiere gameplay of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which looks a lot like an Assassin's Creed game, but with Tomb Raider. I mean, it didn't look bad. It looked good, but it doesn't look like they're really breaching any new ground.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I think they're I don't know what it was during that video, but there were a couple of frame drops, or maybe it was just because where I was watching it, maybe it was just the streaming service was breaking up or something. But there were a lot of segments where it was like there were either cinematic moments or combat segments, and it just like suddenly I just noticed that frames were dropping like crazy. I was like, this is not a good way to show your game. Like the first like actual gameplay footage of this game, because they already had like their cinematic trailer, and this was like their gameplay trailer, and it was like not really impressing me with what was there.
So I didn't see any of that.
Okay.
I didn't see frame drops. I feel like that was on your side.
Yeah, probably. I'd have to watch it again, honestly, but
yeah.
Not to say that's the only complaint. I mean, again, like you guys are saying, it didn't seem like anything that they were doing new. It was just taken from other stuff and then just thrown in there and call it Tomb Raider.
It looked fine. Yeah. Those other games were good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be a solid game with nothing new.
Yeah. And then we got what looked like Skate 4, but it wasn't. It was Session. But it's a new skateboard game.
Could be good.
Could be very good.
Why not? Why does there only need to be one company working on a skateboarding game? People want to take up that mantle, why the hell not?
Creature Studios are working on this. Microsoft is publishing. Let me see what else they did. They're an independent company, and you go to their website, and all you have is Session. Looks like they're a new company.
Nah.
Still, do it. Do it. Give us our Skate 4.
EA certainly won't.
Nope. They had their chance. And then Devil May Cry happened. Devil May Cry 5.
Fucking excited.
Which honestly, as I was watching that, not knowing that franchise, that looked a lot more akin to a Bayonetta level of goofiness that didn't feel like Devil May Cry, based off of my understanding of it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Devil May Cry has always been like that, though. I would say that more of Bayonetta kind of picked that up, of how crazy Devil May Cry is, because there was obviously an audience for that style of gameplay and storytelling.
Yeah.
Right. Bayonetta just felt like like I always think of Bayonetta as being the crazier one of those. But this trailer for Devil May Cry 5 said, "Hey, Bayonetta, we can match your crazy."
Yeah. I think Devil May Cry was pretty crazy.
Yes.
Okay. I think
I don't know.
Bayonetta got pretty much everything from Devil May Cry, like a lot of ideas from Devil May Cry.
There is a segment in Devil May Cry 3 when Dante takes a motorcycle and drives it up falling debris as it's falling down from a tower.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets up the mountain to get to said tower at the top.
I think the difference is a little bit with Devil May Cry and Bayonetta is Devil May Cry takes itself a little bit more seriously, and Bayonetta is like, this is like knows that it's silly.
Yeah.
And goes
it's
there.
It's very self-aware.
Where Devil May Cry is more of a over-the-top anime kind of like silliness, where Bayonetta is more of a like...
Thinking of Devil May Cry 4, yes. God. Devil May Cry 4 is like the most anime Devil May Cry out of all of them.
So fucking anime. Like, and it knows it's silly, but not like Bayonetta knows. Bayonetta like pokes at its own silliness, where Devil May Cry is just silly.
Okay. Yeah.
So they do it in a little bit different ways, I guess.
Yeah.
That was kind of the vibe that I got. The self-aware and seriousness of Devil May Cry, and I guess that's why I felt that way.
Yeah, it does have a Bayonetta kind of look to it, but I think Bayonetta kind of, since Devil May Cry has been around a little bit longer, I think that Bayonetta.
Oh yeah. The influence sequence is definitely apparent.
Definitely.
I always think it's just that kind of game style. Like the gameplay, like it just, if you have that kind of style of combat, you gotta have just over the top fucking nonsense, because How else can you explain that the person can juggle enemies in midair and do crazy ass combos?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even God of War had like the silliness to it, when it was doing shit like that.
Oh god, yeah.
So
Yep. So that's cool. They then rolled out real quick fire Cuphead, the delicious last course. They're adding a third character, Miss Chalice, and a new island with new levels. So that's due out this year, right? I believe.
Yeah, like later this year, fall.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, no, actually it says 2019.
Oh.
So that'll be out
probably
at some point.
Early 2019, just like everything else is coming out in the
January
first
1st.
Yeah.
They then showed Tunic, which is a little Zelda-like with an adorable fox and an amazing aesthetic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Google search Zelda like a fox and you find Tunic and a horrible
Zelda but a fox.
Horrible picture of Jeff Grossman. I don't know why that exists.
Hey man, you search for so many things enough times and it's linked to something.
It all comes back to Giant Bomb eventually. They then outlined the future of Sea of Thieves. There's 2 big updates coming, which look like they're adding additional factions, other
You mean they're
enemies.
adding a game, is what you're saying?
Sounds like it. But that's what that game needs to become a game and B, have an audience. Sea of Thieves, I feel like, will become a really good game about a year from now.
Yeah. I think that game just came out way too early.
Yeah, it was undercooked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then there Anime Smash is happening. It's called Jump Force.
Dumbest fucking name ever, by the way.
Well, you know what it's from. It's Shonen Jump. Those are all Shonen Jump animes.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's called Jump Force.
Okay, sure.
And the trailer has Luffy fighting Naruto, fighting Goku, fighting Frieza. So it looks like it has to be a 4-player fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
That is anime the fighting game.
Right. And
So,
from what I saw, it looks like it's very much in the Dragon Ball Budokai style, where it's over the shoulder and not like just side by side.
Did they show any gameplay? Because I only saw the cinematic trailer. People are playing it at E3.
Okay.
So I'm sure footage will come out.
I don't know. It just looked like for me from that trailer, it looked like it kept being from that same perspective.
From the trailer, but that trailer looked completely cinematic to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now everyone can stop yelling about putting Goku in Smash. So instead, they put Smash into Goku.
Yeah.
And it's fine. You have your game. Go play that.
There is an audience for that.
I'm very happy for people who have wanted a game like this. What a weird fucking thing. We then get a bit of a deep dive into Dying Light 2.
Chris, so fucking excited for.
Chris Avellone is writing it.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Awesome. Then it's going to be a fucking great zombie game.
Yeah, they seem to have taken a lot of the criticisms of the first Dying Light and really addressed them. Where I believe, if I remember correctly, most of the criticisms were narrative based.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily gameplay. Like, it played really good and people really liked that.
Yes. Yeah.
But narratively,
the actual like RPG of it was like, and the storytelling was lacking. It was just like cliche after cliche after cliche. Like, it was like if you knew every single zombie movie or show or comic cliche, like that, it was all thrown into the Dying Light 1.
Right. Cool.
But I kept playing it because I was like, I'm still having fun because the parkour is really great and the combat's a lot of fun, and being able Their whole crafting system was kind of cool, where you could like make all different kinds of weapons, and they all have their different ways of doing different kinds of damage to enemies. And I was like, yeah, this is the cool parts of the game. But yeah, like the actual like main story was severely lacking.
Yeah, fair enough.
But they gotta fix that shit.
They certainly are. They highlighted a scenario in which you had a choice to make over a water supply.
Mm-hmm.
They highlighted the very different worlds that you could create.
Yeah.
Depending on your choice. Certainly has me intrigued.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And it looks like they tightened up the parkour too, which is like awesome. Because now it looks on the level of like Mirror's Edge style of parkour fluid movement system. So yeah, if they can improve that, and then the story's great, like, I mean, maybe the combat could be a little bit better. It was decent, and especially it did have a kind of flow to it, especially if you were running and moving and drop kicking shit or slide kicking them off of roofs. Like, that was always fun. But yeah, I mean, it looked better. It's one of those things where it's like fucking the Batman Arkham games, where it's like, how do you improve on this? And then the next one comes out and you're like, holy shit, they improved it somehow. This seems better.
Yeah, there's no release on that yet. They just announced it for the first time. And then for some reason, Battletoads.
Because we asked for that. But now people can go to GameStop and ask if they have Battletoads.
Well, you've been able to do that since Rare Replay came out.
Yes.
And spoilers, Battletoads was not a good game.
But what if they make this a good Battletoads game?
I doubt it. But if they do, that's great. But I don't... They didn't even say who was making it. It is Rare.
Okay.
Rare and Dlala Studios. I don't know Dlala Studios. But the date is next year. Dlala, cross-platform games development. Interesting.
I think overall Battletoads wasn't a great game, but there was good elements in that game.
For an arcade game, yeah. It's one of those games where if you put in a couple quarters and play it until you die, it's fun.
Yeah.
But to play it on a console with unlimited continues, it's a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it had unlimited continues.
In Rare Replay, it did.
Well, the original definitely didn't.
No, the original did not.
It's one of the hardest fucking games ever.
Unfair.
Yeah.
Battletoads is unfucking fair. Well, even in the trailer, they had a hover bike smash into a goddamn wall, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know.
I wonder what that ends up looking like.
Yeah.
So far, it was just cartoony. Like, it was very hand-drawn. There wasn't anything where it was, like, more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I think would be a very good aesthetic for that game.
Yeah.
They go with a hand-drawn 2D brawler. A modern hand-drawn 2D brawler. It could be a very good Battletoads.
Similar to Castle Crashers.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That could be very cool. They then went to announce Just Cause 4, which had leaked earlier because of Steam. And it looks like Just Cause, but with weather.
Yeah.
Because weather changes everything. There's tornadoes, and he's like wingsuiting through tornadoes and shit. Like, okay.
Explosions are going off.
That's the next logical evolution of that game.
Hey,
it's now a disaster movie.
So long as the world is built better and there's a lot more variety than it was in Just Cause 3, and it has a better cheesy story than it did in 3, because 2 had a great cheesy story to it, and the variety of different areas was really great, but 3 felt like it was just a lot of the same all the time.
Yeah.
Which really sucks. So I hope that this one there's a lot more variety in the world.
I never played any of those games.
They're really good. They're great. Like shut off your brain and just blow shit up.
Blow it up.
Yeah. I've been playing Just Cause 3, and it is like so mindlessly awesome. It's really fucking fun.
Just strap a bunch of fucking rocket mines to a car that has a pedestrian already driving it, and then ignite it and watch him fucking freak out while its car is going way faster than it should.
Yeah, I think on the level of like, I'm gonna do dumb shit, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild, where it's like, hey, can I do this?
Yes.
And then you try it and you're like, oh, I can fucking do this.
Yes.
This is wacky.
Yep.
Breath of the Wild, but with explosives.
Yes.
Yeah, with just way dumber and crazier.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
And now you have tornadoes.
That is the perfect example, Steve, that you said.
Yeah.
I think you almost convinced Darren the second you said it's like Breath of the Wild level of just being like, can I try this? I can.
It's probably a game that's worth getting now, especially when it goes on sale, because when it goes, like, I bought it for like $5.
Yeah. I think I have it on PS Plus. I think it was a PS Plus game one month.
Yes, it was.
I think I have it there.
You should play it. It is a lot of fun.
I should at least touch it.
Yeah, I think you'd have. I mean, pick it up. You'll probably have a lot of fun for
a couple of hours. Yeah, and then I will get my value out of it, and that's fine.
Yeah,
totally.
They then pivoted into the Gears of War time slot, and they started off with Gears of War Pop.
Oh my god, that was the worst way to start that whole thing.
They are making a mobile game for your phone with Pop, like the Pop figures with the weird eyes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But with Gears of War characters. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think it's them trying to do like a Lego thing, but instead of Lego Gears, it's Funko Pop things.
Lego will not allow anything that is adult or mature to be made with their toys, so this makes sense if they want to try to make a Lego competitor.
Yeah.
But Funko Pops do not have the same charm as Lego.
No.
Right after that, they showed Gears Tactics, which actually kind of has me interested, because it's Gears of War by way... It's XCOM by way of Gears of War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's that world, and I think given
Gears
the playstyle... Yeah, given the playstyle and given that world, that could be a very cool thing.
It makes sense considering, like, Gears has always been all about their cover system and shooting around cover and flanking through cover. Like, yeah,
exactly.
That makes fucking sense for that to be a tactics game.
I just don't know... I don't know how good that will be. And I don't know if that world can support... Like, my interest in the world of Gears of War starts and ends with, can I shoot it? And, like, I don't play those games for the story.
No.
And
can I chainsaw it?
Can I chainsaw it? Okay. Oh, you missed your chainsaw at point blank range. 95%. Whoops, he cut his leg off. They then proceeded to announce Gears of War 5, which I played through Gears of War 4. I did not give a shit about that game when it ended. I don't have any interest to play Gears 5. It's coming out next year. I will probably not play it.
It reminded me about a recent interview with Dave Bautista where they said, if there was a Gears movie being made, would you be Marcus Phoenix? And I was like, holy shit, yeah. And
That's a good pairing.
And even he was like, yeah, I'd do it. And I was like, oh my god, that would be awesome. I would fucking see a Gears movie with Dave Bautista as Marcus Phoenix.
That's really fucking good.
That's a good pairing right there.
Yeah.
He almost looks like him already. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I would watch that. And then as Phil Spencer was signing off, E3 got hacked. E3 got hacked.
That was the most E3 move for like an announcement trailer.
Corny as shit. As soon as you go to the directory C:/hacks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, thank you. That's beautiful. We got to see Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a purely cinematic trailer, and it was real cool.
It was real fucking cool.
It was a real good trailer.
There was a lot of things in there that I really liked. That I was like, "Yep, this looks really fucking good."
I need it.
I love the tone of this game right now. Like,
yeah. Stylistically, for me, it seems like they took everything that is good about like the whole cyberpunk world. Like, it's like a mix of like Judge Dredd and fucking
Blade Runner
and like everything like that.
Neuromancer. It's all
Neuromancer. Yeah, it's like all thrown in there, and it just looks fucking awesome.
There is a single frame at the very end of that trailer. If you stop and freeze it, it's an entire statement from CD Projekt Red that basically says, "Hey, listen, if you're reading this, this means you watched a trailer. We're gonna answer a bunch of questions for you right now." And it was a whole statement in a single frame at the end of the trailer, which was cool. They're like, "Oh, well, does this have microtransactions?" They're like, "In a single-player game? Are you fucking crazy?"
Yeah.
No. Does this have DRM? Yeah, as much as The Witcher did, it'll be on PC and GOG. So, like, yes and no.
Yeah.
It's optional. What was the other thing? What kind of support can we expect? They're like, do you remember Witcher 3 and what we did there? Yeah, expect that.
Yeah.
Again. So, this is CD Projekt Red being as CD Projekt Red as they can be.
And then also apologizing about announcing Cyberpunk
so early.
Way early. And then being like, okay, yeah, we're sorry we did that. We wanted to focus on Witcher first. And then focus on it. We kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Our bad.
Like, I almost wish that they never said anything about Cyberpunk, and then they showed that.
Yeah.
And that would have been awesome.
I would have shit a brick. I would have been so happy. I'd been like, whoa, they're working on a fucking Cyberpunk game? Like, this is nutty.
Yeah, that was real cool. Microsoft knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They desperately needed games, and they brought the fucking games.
I mean, also there are a lot. I think it was beneficial for Microsoft to have the first slot so that they could announce games that were cross-platform.
EA had the first slot.
All right, well, okay.
They don't count this year.
Anyway.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one cares.
Outside of EA, Microsoft...
yeah.
Like, they had a lot of slots where they had the first slot where they could just be like, here's all these games, even though they're all cross-platform. But, yeah, also, that aside, like, their exclusives that they have is still pretty large.
Yeah.
With what they had. And there was actually some that I'm very interested in. Mostly Crackdown 3.
Yeah, I mean, they've really made a good argument to have an Xbox. They really said, hey, look, you're going to get these games, you're going to get them here. And looking at all that stuff makes me really kind of think, well, how much can I get a cheap Xbox One X for? Because I got a 4K now.
Right.
Like, I kind of want to dip my toe into that ecosystem and see what that is. I still cannot justify the price of Xbox One X, however. But they came out swinging.
Yeah.
And it's precisely what they needed to do. Like, it was a very good showing for them.
Yeah, because last year was a lot of like, here's what we have that's backwards compatible. And it was just like, all right, so what about new games? Bye! See you next year. It's like, wait, what the fuck?
that was a good thing that they did here, too, is everything that they announced was day one a part of their Game Pass program. So if you want to spend $120 a year, $12 a month, to get access to their Game Pass library, you get all their brand new games day one on that system.
Right.
So if you pay for Game Pass for an entire year and play 2 brand new games, it pays for itself.
Right.
Anything beyond that, and it just makes sense to do that.
It just works.
My fear is that this is getting everyone used to a cloud-like solution to gaming, where it's more of a Netflix type thing. And that, because they did talk about the future and how they have hardware engineers working on the next generation of hardware, but also they have network engineers working on a cloud solution. Like, that is something Microsoft is aware and cognizant of. And the technology's not there yet, but they're hoping, just like Ubisoft was saying, maybe after the next go-around of hardware.
Yeah. It's a little worrisome, but you have, like, a lot has to go into that shit, because, like, all the gaming companies that are going to go through these have to, like, be on board with this.
Yeah.
Because there has to be some kind of contract, and there has to be this, and, like, how much you're going to make off of this, like, for every time someone plays your game. Like, it's almost like when Spotify and stuff like that took over the music industry, and you have all the issues of, like, musicians coming out and saying, like, wait, how much money am I going to get for this, and, like, blah blah blah, you know.
Yeah.
And with the gaming industry, it's such a crazy industry where, like, you can make so much profit off of your game. I feel like this isn't going to work out. Like, like, I feel like it would only work out, like, if it's strictly EA pushing their games out, or strictly Microsoft saying these are our titles that we're pushing out, like, not the whole of all the games.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I just can't, like, if something like that happens, that'd be crazy. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, the U.S. currently doesn't have the infrastructure to support that nationwide.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not an option in a lot of places.
So, devil's advocate here, I kind of foresee with the cloud system being good, because then it's no longer an issue of using up hardware, like disk space, or, well, I mean, like, it would be like temporary or whatever
for you, but there is a server somewhere that has to deal with all of that.
Right.
You have to have network latency that also deals with input.
Yeah. Right.
Like, that's the big problem. You're complaining right now about God of War in 4K not having 60 frames a second. Imagine that streaming.
Yeah.
Like, currently our infrastructure doesn't support that. If it did, I mean, it could work. But as someone who is a collector of physical objects, that makes me very nervous, and I don't want it.
Right. I mean, a lot of, because I have some games that are physical copy and some that are mostly digital. Like, for example, my Switch. I mean, you're basically doing the same thing too, Darren, where it's like, if there's indie titles, I buy it digitally, because, I mean, they're small. I know it can fit on the hard drive, and, you know, it's fine. But, like, big titles like Zelda, Bayonetta, Mario, like, all those, I buy those physical, because it takes up a lot of fucking space, and I'd rather just be able to just have it on me, so I could just be able to swap it out through the card.
See, I'm dealing with that right now, the mental gymnastics of Smash. Do I buy it digitally because I never want to not have that game available, or do I buy it physically because it's a physical copy of Smash? Like, it's weird. I mean, you don't have people on board 100% with 100% digital systems right now.
Yeah.
Look at the backlash Microsoft got with the Xbox One when they said they were going all digital.
Yeah.
So I feel like a streaming solution is not something people want. It's not going to be something suddenly that is desirable.
Especially if there's a change in the tide of how internet works and how providers handle that.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, streaming would be terrible. Like, there could definitely be some good things about it, but right now, no, definitely not.
But that wraps up Microsoft. And the last thing we have on the docket today, and the last thing that was on the docket on Sunday, was Bethesda. Bethesda gave us the first glimpse at true E3 moments.
Yeah.
They started off the show. Andrew WK came out to play his song from the Rage 2 trailer, which should have been a big reveal for Rage 2.
Yeah.
And was not. Everyone was unimpressed, and the shots of the crowd during that performance are so great because Andrew WK is up there doing his thing, like
and he's fucking doing it good. Like he's doing it as he does it.
That guy is never not 100%.
Yeah.
And they keep cutting to the audience, and people are just like blasé about it, like, yeah, I don't care, whatever.
Well, because again, it's like you said.
We knew it.
That shit was already, it already was revealed.
And I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know. Like, those people aren't there to see fucking Andrew WK.
No.
So, like, it's just not a good medium to, like, to put, like, it's just not a good medium to throw Andrew WK in front of people. Like, he's got a good energy vibe. But, like, when you're going to throw them in front of a bunch of nerds who just want to see video games, like, it's just not, like, they're just going to be like, all right, come on, show me my fucking game. We already know Rage 2, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just not. But, yeah, Andrew WK as always goes, Andrew WK.
He was fucking knocking it out of the goddamn park.
Like, just fucking nearly knocking himself unconscious, you know.
As he does.
As he does. Yeah. But
love that guy.
But the crowd reactions were just fucking hilarious because there was no emotion in the crowd at all. It was just like,
just like that, or just
so
like,
like,
fuck am I watching
happening?
Right now?
They then went into like some weird pre-rendered trailer of Rage 2 that had a commercial injected in the middle of it for the special edition.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
sure. Well, all of that would have been a lot cooler if Rage 2 hadn't leaked, and I feel real bad for them because of that.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, we kind of got more gameplay footage of it. Like one that wasn't heavily cut up. It was just like let's play out this segment.
Yeah.
This whole like scenario where you're going into this fucking facility or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And it looks fucking good.
It does look
good.
It
looks so fucking good. The combat looks great. The vehicle combat looks just like fucking Mad Max, but you know, Rage.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's everything that I had wanted it to be when it had first announced.
Yep. It's looking very promising.
Yeah.
They then teased and showed Doom Eternal, which looks like hell has come to Earth. If you look at that trailer again, you see signposts, you see lampposts,
buildings.
It is Doom 2, Hell on Earth, but they're calling it Doom Eternal.
Yeah, which I think is a kind of a weak name. I could see what they're going for, but I don't know.
They should have had the balls to just call it Doom 2, Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
They should have had the balls to do it, but they didn't.
Yeah. And considering some of the enemies that are in there are from Doom 2, because I rewatched it, because, of course, fucking too many times already. The last frame before it does the logo reveal, you have the Archvile in there, which he was a Doom 2 character. He was a fucking asshole, where basically he would conjure up demons, and then so long as he was still alive, if you kept fighting all the demons, he'd keep resurrecting them. So he was in there because he did he did his iconic pose where he had fire on his hands. And I was like, holy shit, he's on there. And then they also had a Hell Knight that had fucking blade wrists, like a goddamn Protoss. I was like, holy shit, okay. And then a Caco demon that looked totally different, that had some kind of things poking out from it.
When it pulled back, it was the scene from the Doom 2 cover. Just like they had basically recreated the original Doom cover for the reverse of the 2015 Doom.
From what I remember, the Doom 2 was the Cyber Demon that was like front and center.
All right, then my memory sucks. Then that's fine.
You're talking to someone who played
I know.
way too much Doom in his childhood, and the 2016 release.
But that definitely is the right time to announce that. It is slated. There is no date for it. But
Yeah,
they're working on it.
Yeah, like that game, I think it's cool that they announced it, but that was also something like I knew there was going to be another Doom game, and I was willing to wait however long, so long as it was as polished and amazing as the last one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved on to Prey. Surprisingly, they had a lot to say about Prey. I didn't think that game sold enough to warrant this. But immediately following the press conference, they updated it to add a new game plus and a survival mode, as well as Moon Crash, the first bit of DLC, which they have called a roguelike. Roguelike?
A roguelike. Or, well, yeah, I guess a light.
Kind of. It's on the moon, and it's like a simulation of some sort. Yep. I don't know.
Well, that ties into the story, but that would be spoilers if I go into more detail about that.
Fair enough. And then later this year, they're releasing Typhoon Hunter, which is a multiplayer mode where there are 5 players who are playing the shape-shifting aliens and 1 person playing a human. It's basically Prop Hunt if you've ever played TF2.
Or any Valve game when they were making games.
Yeah, so basically the human player has to find out the objects that are players. Which is
perfectly fitting for that fucking game.
That's a neat fucking idea for multiplayer in that game.
Yeah.
It fits. They moved on to the Wolfenstein Hour. There is a standalone game much in the same vibe as Wolfenstein The Old Blood for the original game. This is Wolfenstein Youngblood, set in the future in the 80s as you play as BJ's twin daughters in the 80s still fighting Nazis, which, what the fuck does that mean for the end of this series?
Yeah.
Does the next game take place in the 80s or 90s, or does it take place before it? And if it takes place before it, you have to not succeed because there's still Nazis in the 80s. Like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing was with, like, Old Blood, the reason why it worked was just because it was a prequel to the New Colossus, and it was actually supposed to be, like, a throwback to the old Wolfenstein games. So that's where it's like, okay, it makes sense because this is something that's a prequel. We know that there's going to be more Wolfenstein that takes place afterwards that continues the story. So, yeah, it's where do they go from here?
Right. They also announced Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which is a VR Wolfenstein thing. Like, okay, sure. Of course you're going to do that because you've done that with all your other franchises. That tracks. We were then treated to a... Is that Keegan-Michael Key or is that Jordan Peele?
No.
Okay. Keegan-Michael Key.
Yep. Playing
Skyrim Very Special Edition on Amazon Alexa. It looked like, oh, haha, they're poking fun at themselves. No, that shit's real. They made Skyrim on the Alexa.
Yep.
Which suddenly the joke was not as funny.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of funny that they actually made that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's that, and then they also joked that it was like on the Samsung refrigerator monitor or whatever, and like all this other shit, and yeah. I was like, okay, they realize of how fucking ridiculous they're getting with re-releasing Skyrim on everything.
God, I would laugh my ass off if they released it on one more thing in the future.
Ugh.
But I don't think you would see them do that at this stage. We were then treated to a very, very deep dive on Fallout 76. this they're really pushing this as the next Bethesda Softworks game.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Howard was out there on stage like, this is Vault 76 finished in time for the what do you call it? Not the tricentennial. It was 600 years of the US, the 600th anniversary.
Oh.
Within context of the Fallout universe.
Oh, okay.
And you're supposed to that it opens up 25 years after the vault's initially locked, so this is canonically the first Fallout game, but it is entirely online multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
There are no NPCs that are human. The only NPCs are robots.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, if you want to play a single player, you can play a single player, but it's always fucking online. You're not actually playing it single player. You're gonna run into other players.
Yeah. And there's no offline mode either.
Nope.
Or anything.
Nope. You can't knock yourself offline.
Yeah.
You can. There are certain spots where you can build camps.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of questions that still elude me on this. I do not know how this all is supposed to work.
Yeah.
In the context of, if we group up as a group of 4 and play this and build a little camp, how does it match us with other people? He says there's no servers, so you're talking on a scale of dozens of people per map, not hundreds.
Yeah.
The really cool thing that I thought they did, which is right in line with Fallout, was leaving nukes on the map.
Yep. And you have access to it.
You have access to it, but it is a process in order to get the launch codes, find the nuke, find all the launch codes, work together as a team, and then you fucking nuke an area of the map. And then you can go through the fallout and the wreckage to loot whoever the fuck you just murdered.
Mm-hmm.
It has the potential to be really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is not at all what I expected out of Fallout.
No. I think in theory it seems interesting, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty curious as to how things pan out, but I also see it running into something like Rust, where it's that same vein where it's like, all right, I'm ready to try out this game, and I just keep getting killed, and it's like, okay, well, I guess that's it then. Like, all I'm going to keep doing is just, like, trying to play this game, and then I'm just going to keep getting killed. So the only way I have to play is convincing other people to buy the game and play it with me. So that's, like, we can maybe defend ourselves and then start setting up some kind of camp and building towards it. Because then if you die, I'm sure you probably just lose everything.
Well, no, he said that there is no penalty for death.
Okay.
So what the fuck does that even mean? I don't know how that translates into the game.
I think you just don't lose all the materials that you've gathered in your time playing the game. Because because games like Rust, where it was like, if you were holding on to stuff and they're not in your base camp, you fucking lost everything that was in your inventory if you died.
Right.
And you had to start from scratch again. Like, all your armor that you had, all your weapons, everything are gone. So you have to go back to finding rocks and hitting fucking wood.
Well, also by virtue of it being multiplayer, you don't have VATS. You do not have VATS in this game.
Well, they said it's there, but it's like real time or whatever. So it's kind of like an auto aim feature, but just doesn't slow down.
Then that's not VATS.
Yeah.
that's not VATS.
It's just an aim assist, basically, I guess.
It's not VATS. No, I want to keep an eye on it. I want to know what that ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting terrible Sea of Thieves vibes from it.
I don't know if like that. I would say more like Rust.
In the concept that I don't know what the content is outside of it's a Fallout game with other people.
Yeah.
And
what is the goal? Like, what do you set out to do other than just create your own story? Kind of. Okay.
Build a camp.
Right. Okay. Then yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know what that game looks like long term.
Okay.
I don't know. And then they went through and they announced Elder Scrolls Blades, which looks really nice for a mobile game.
Yeah.
Set in the Elder Scrolls universe. It's first person. You can move around freely, or you can tap and slide to attack. There's magic. There's everything you would expect out of an Elder Scrolls game.
Mm-hmm.
The one feature that I thought was weird that I highlighted is that you could play it in portrait and vertical mode, in which Todd Howard is kind of a dick about it. Like, oh, I call this meeting mode because everyone's going to know you're playing the game if your phone is sideways in a meeting. Yeah, but everyone's going to look at you like you're an asshole for staring at your phone in a goddamn meeting.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, don't be playing that.
I don't think he knows how meetings are in other companies versus in Bethesda.
Yeah.
You do play games in a meeting at Bethesda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's half the point of the meeting. But it left a bad taste in my mouth. Elder Scrolls Blades. It's going to be free on everything. It's going to be on everything. They've already said that. It's going to be free. So there's in-game microtransaction stuff.
They even had, while they were showing it, like, there are fucking... If you look at the very top, there were things that looked like some kind of premium currency at the top there.
Yeah. That all left a very bad taste in my mouth. I mean, I'm going to play it. It's free. So I'm going to try it to see what it is. But it left a bad taste in my mouth until... He's like, okay, we're going to peel back the curtain here and show you the future. And they just show a super short teaser for Starfield. Which is the long-rumored Bethesda space RPG.
Yep.
Like, we're doing it, but that's what they called a next-gen experience. So the fuck does that mean?
Means it's coming out 3 to 4 years from now.
That's how I took that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, and then after that, another teaser trailer about the same length, just show Elder Scrolls 6. He's like, that is after Starfield, which means we're probably not going to see that for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Given development time, unless maybe Starfield's further along, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, from what I read, or I think he tweeted out, he said that Starfield is in full production now, and Elder Scrolls is in pre-production phase right now.
Makes sense.
So that's where they're at with that.
So if it's in pre-production now, we can expect another 6 years of development time at least.
Yes.
That's better than 10.
Yeah.
And that makes a free-to-play mobile game set in Elder Scrolls a lot easier to swallow.
Right.
And anything ESO related, much easier to swallow.
Which they also talked about a little bit.
Yeah, really it was, oh, we've got Somerset that just came out, and ESO's going strong, and we're going to do something with the... I didn't really follow it, but they're still active with ESO, and ESO has a very strong following.
Yeah.
I'm just very happy as an Elder Scrolls fan to know none of that is detracting from an actual mainline big Elder Scrolls game.
I'm kind of really interested in Starfield, actually. I mean, I know it was kind of like just like a fucking logo reveal, but considering he said that this is like their first original IP since like, was it like 25 years or something like that? 25 years or whatever?
Since I believe Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. Yeah, like that has me all the more interested. That's like they are doing something new instead of just doing the same two franchises and still pumping those out. Like they're actually doing something new, which gives them some really fucking huge creative freedom. Just go crazy. Do their thing.
Yeah. I'm really interested in that, but I also think that's why they're trying to keep Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 close, because if Starfield shits the bed, then it's like,
hey, Elder Scrolls is coming out soon.
Guess what?
Yeah.
A year or 2 years from now, we have Elder Scrolls. You know, so I think they're trying to keep those close just in case. You know, Starfield bombs and they need money. But no, I'm really excited for that because that's just anything to do with space.
Yeah.
Usually I'm on board with sci-fi stuff. I'm pretty on board with that.
Bethesda really hasn't done space yet.
No. Yeah, I'm excited to see
haven't.
what they do with it, like what their idea is and how they're gonna, navigate through space and stuff like that. Like if it's just gonna take place on a planet somewhere, or if you're gonna be able to go into space and shit like that. Like I'm excited to see what they have going.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. And that's the right sequence, too. Come out with Starfield first. Be like, hey, this is a new thing. We want to try a thing.
Yeah.
And they seem to be a bit more experimental. I mean, look at Fallout 76. Like, that's super not them. And there's still rumors that that's more of the Austin office doing that, or Dallas, or the Texas office, working mostly on 76. So I wouldn't be surprised if Starfield is in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it probably like 3 years from now.
Yeah. Like that would be cool.
They said next gen, so it's got to be the next set of consoles for sure.
Which would be 3 or 4 years from now.
Maybe 2020 at the earliest.
Yeah.
But it's weird to have them talk about something that's so far in the future.
Yeah. I think I think that's where it's hard to approach because they wanted to, because I mean it's very clear that the Elder Scrolls trailer was just like, hey, it's happening. Calm the fuck down.
Like, stop asking.
And not that I would say that Starfield is in the same vein, but I think that there was no way for them to announce, like, say if they swap the announcements, right? Say if they announce Elder Scrolls first before Starfield, how do you think like people would react to that instead? Where it's like, oh, here's Elder Scrolls 6, but really Starfield is what we're working on first. Here it is, and it's also coming out as a next gen title, and then Elder Scrolls. Like, it's kind of weird if they had swapped it.
If they didn't even mention Starfield and they just said, well, Elder Scrolls 6 is coming, it's a next-gen game, everyone would just assume Starfield never happened.
Right.
Like, I guess that's canceled. I guess we're never going to see it. Whereas now we're all talking about, like, yeah, it's a real thing, and it's very, very calculated way to control the conversation.
Yeah,
and it also it's like, what do they do next year with those games? When E3 comes around, like especially Elder Scrolls. Like I just don't think you do anything with Elder Scrolls, but I think Starfield you might have to have. Well, people will be asking like, where the fuck's Starfield at? But yeah. We'll see, because they might not have anything, They might not just be like, "Hey, that's next gen. We fucking announced it. That's what you get."
I'll be remembering to ask in that same exact voice from 2 to 3 years ago from now, being like, "Where the fuck Starfield?
Where the fuck is Starfield at?"
But I could see them doing like what they were doing with Mass Effect Andromeda in EA, with here's the tech thing. For Andromeda, but then we all saw how Andromeda turned out. But we won't talk about that. But that's pretty much it. That'll wrap up that first weekend. We still have quite a bit to go through, but we're not touching on that tonight. None of us wants to stay up that late. Join us again tomorrow. We will go through Square Enix, Ubisoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Actually, why don't we just get this out of the way? Devolver did a dumb thing.
Yeah, I was hoping to talk about that shit.
They announced My Friend Pedro.
Yes.
Which looks like, you put it very nicely, Wally, like Deadpool, but 2D.
Yes. Yep.
Looks stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Listen, it didn't tick any boxes for me personally. But it could end up being really cool. It's got a look to it. It's got an aesthetic.
The thing for me is like it's got a lot of little cool things that game can do that I did not expect, or maybe it was like, oh my god, can he do that thing, like being able to fucking kick that dude's head after he blasted the rest of his body away with a shotgun, and then kick the head at someone else, and then it did, and it worked, and then he leapt over a fucking desk and shot someone else in the face. Like,
the one thing I would say that that was, I thought, cool in that was when he kicked the frying pan up and started using it to ricochet bullets all over the room.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's okay, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. And he just does it where it's just like the entire time it's like it's a ballet dancing around.
A ballet of bullets. It's stupid.
Yep.
And then the only other thing they announced was Metal Wolf Chaos, an old From Software game being ported to PC for the first time in America.
Well, it's PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. It's coming out.
Oh,
for everything.
I thought it was only PC.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Fair enough.
Xbox, PS4, and PC.
Yeah, and that was it. It was 15 minutes. Just
shit posting.
Done.
What they do, and then the last 5 minutes being a RoboCop reference, and then fucking cliffhanging it at the end for it
because of course. But yeah, that'll wrap up.
I also love how they not only were shitting on shitty practices by companies, but also how people take it anyway.
Yeah.
Like that commentary I thought was awesome too, where they were just like, we do all these shitty things, but you guys don't do anything about it. You just fucking take it anyway. Like, I was like, holy shit. Yes.
They were working through some stuff.
Oh yeah.
They were working through some stuff. It was pretty good. But yeah, join us again tomorrow. We will go through Square Enix, Ubisoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo. It's almost 2 hours now. Thank you for joining us.
Hey man, it was a long weekend, kind of.
It was Xbox.
Oh yeah.
It was Xbox.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
50 games. It was Xbox.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
Bye.